In this episode, I'm going to show you how you can get many looks from one speedlight.
AdoramaTV presents Exploring Photography with Mark Wallace.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Exploring Photography right here on AdoramaTV. I'm Mark Wallace. Well, if you have a camera and a speedlight like this one of these big flashes that you can slide onto your camera, you probably have shot a lot of pictures with that speedlight just pointing just straight out. But if you start swiveling this and tilting it, you can get a bunch of different looks from the same speedlight using the same settings. It's really cool. Now, to understand this better, I have invited Brian. So come on out, Brian. You might remember him from the Gavin Hoey challenge that I did. In fact, I'm crashing in Gavin's studio right now. And what we're going to do is I'm going to shoot several portraits of Brian with the flash in different positions to show you how you can get quite different looks. So let's get started. What we're going to do first is I'm going to have you sit right here on this. Now, the first thing I want to do is to shoot just a simple portrait with my flash just going straight forward. Now, what we're going to get is sort of flat light because there's no direction of light. It's just going straight at Brian's face. And so there's not any contrast, but because we have this nice dark background here, we might be able to get sort of an artificial vignette that could look good. Now, I am shooting with my flash in full TTL mode, through the lens metering mode. I'm shooting at about 5.6 to 8, around there. I'm at ISO 200, and then I have my flash set to about 160th of a second. So I'm not going to change really any of that stuff until later on. So we're going to start right away. So the first thing, flash straight at Brian. So take a look right at me, right into the lens. Beautiful. All right, so we look at that, and that's sort of a cool look. It's a little bit contrasty. I mean, look at that. We've got the shadows that are behind his head right here. We can take that into Photoshop and do some really cool stuff with it, but there's more that we can do with this flash. So the second thing I want to do, I want to get some really soft light, and that's sort of easy. So Brian, what we're going to do is we're going to have you move that stool, have you go right about right here, have a seat. Now, the key to this portrait is this white ceiling and this white wall, because I just want to have light just sort of flooding around you. So to do that, instead of having this bounce off the ceiling, I'm actually going to flip this around so it's going backwards. I want to make sure you see this. This is going backwards like this, and it's going to go behind my head, bounce off this wall, bounce off the ceiling, and just surround you with all this nice soft light. And because the wall behind him is also white, we're going to get a high key portrait with one flash. So low key, now let's go for high key. So let's have you look right at me, and perfect. Let me make sure I frame this right there. Perfect. All right, and there we have it, a really nice soft portrait. Now the key to this is to make sure you don't block this flash. So when you're doing it, make sure that you sort of move out of the way of the flash, or you're not going to get what you need. Now, one of the things, I have your head just tilt up just a little bit. One of the things to be aware of is you might get sort of a gray background if you have a white wall back there. So you might need to use flash exposure compensation. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into my flashes menu. I'm going to increase this by about a stop. We'll see what happens. So same position, same bounce, but I'm increasing my flash exposure. We'll see if we get something a little bit more washed out, and we do. So let's compare that first shot where I had the flash going straight forward at Brian's face, low key, to this last shot where I had the flash bouncing off the wall and using flash exposure compensation, high key. It's pretty cool. All right, one more thing that I think we can do to make this really work well. So Brian, I'm going to have you move against this wall here. Now what I want to do is to have some contrasty side light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flash, move it to the side just like that. I'm going to make sure I take my flash exposure compensation and turn that off. So it's back to 0 right now. So we're going to have you move right here, have a seat, and then look straight at that wall. So a big profile shot. Perfect. All right, so then I'm going to bounce this flash off this wall. It's going to come this way. So we're getting side light. So it's not soft light, it's nice soft side light to the camera. So here we go. We're going to have you look over there at the wall again. Perfect, just like that. Bam. I like that, but we need to set our exposure compensation because we're a little bit hot. We have too much light on you. So I'm going to go in again to my flash exposure compensation. I'm going to take that down by 1 stop. Let's have you really just totally, yeah, there you go. Perfect, just like that. I'll make sure I frame this really intentionally. Pow. Look at that. That's really cool. All right, Brian, come back up. We have 3 distinct shots with our flash. 1 flash, 3 positions, 3 totally different looks. We have the low key shot where we have this straight on. We have the high key shot where we're bouncing off the wall. And then we have this nice sort of low key side light where I'm bouncing that flash to the side. And that's all there is to it. If you've got one of these flashes that can move and twist and bounce, try it out for yourself. Make sure you're using something that has white walls though. If you have red or orange or yellow walls, you're going to get a color cast. So this works well in small spaces with white walls. You'll be really surprised at all the things you can do with one little flash. Well, thanks for joining me today, Brian. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Exploring Photography. Don't forget to subscribe to Adorama TV. You can see all kinds of tutorials and videos. You can learn about TTL metering and shooting with speedlights, shooting in speedlights in the studio. The list goes on. And also, don't forget to subscribe. It's absolutely free. Why not do it today? Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again next time.
Do you want great looking prints at low cost? Be sure to visit our easy to use online printing service. Adorama Pix has professionals who treat your images with the utmost care that you can count on. For a quick turnaround on photos, cards, or albums, use AdoramaPix.com.